sleep with the beasts. You woke me down in the streets. You pull on my leash and there I come.
Hello guys, hello Instagram, welcome to a new IGTV. I hope you're having an amazing day. I decided to do an IGTV today about fat shaming. I think it's a good format to do these little reflections on IGTV. It takes no editing, easier than YouTube, and it gets out there. So I'm just gonna get to it. The reason I was thinking and reflecting on this fat shaming subject is because I saw a video that Stephanie Buttermore did on YouTube. I don't know if you know her. She's a fitness influencer. I think that's her job. She does a lot of videos about her fitness journey and stuff, and she also has a scientific background, so she supports many of the things she says by research. I do not agree with a lot of her approaches and a lot of things she does with regarding nutrition, but this video really shocked me, and it made me question the way I was addressing people, the way I was thinking about fat shaming and maybe addressing it. When we speak about fat shaming, we don't necessarily speak about the mean comments or bullying or coming to someone being like, oh, you're fat, or making none of that. I've never approached anyone in this way, but I do have people in my family that are overweight or have been overweight. My grandma, one of my grandmas, is an example. She's still overweight, and I realized, thanks to this video, that the way I was approaching her and the way I was trying to help, in my opinion, was maybe not helping at all, and maybe even making it worse. So this is why I thought it was interesting to share, because some of you might be doing the same thing, and not out of the bad feelings or out of trying to hurt someone, but simply out of love. In this specific case, it's my grandma, someone that I love and I want to have in my life for as long as I can, and she was having really bad cholesterol problems. She was close to being diagnosed with self-inflicted diabetes, and these was things that were stressing me and were stressing my family. So I was approaching it in a maybe critic or aggressive way without noticing it. So basically what Stephanie speaks about in the video is she shows us some studies and some research that people have done on fat shaming. So for example, on fat shaming commercials or fat shaming in some movies, where they analyze the behavior of two different groups that were overweight. So they did a study with overweight people in the movie theater and people with normal weight, and then they did exactly the same with a different type of film. The people that came out from the film or the advertisement that was fat shaming them, they studied their behavior. So they waited a bit of food, some snacks in the waiting area, and they were trying to see how they would react to food after being fat shamed. And all the research showed the same. There's many research, and you can go see her video if you want all the links. I think she put them in the description. All the research agreed that in a massive amount of difference, 3 times more, I think, the people that had just been fat shamed in, or had just witnessed fat shaming in the content they saw, came out of the theater and ate 3 times more than people who were not fat shamed in the other theater, also overweight people. And it also showed that in people with normal weight, it didn't really have a difference. It didn't have any significant effect on them to see or to witnessed any content where someone was being fat shamed. What I think is really interesting about that is that it makes sense, and I never thought about it in the sense that usually, I'm not saying there's different cases for everything, but in general, people who are overweight already use food as a coping mechanism. We all have different coping mechanisms to the stressors in life, but in general, people who are overweight use food as a coping mechanism. The problem is that when we inflict more stress on them, or when we inflict negative feelings or a negative attitude towards what they're doing or the way they are handling their body, the way they would normally react is eating more. And it makes sense, but I never thought about it. And I never thought about it, again, I'm telling you, with my grandma. I was always trying to tell her, you shouldn't be eating this, you shouldn't be eating that, you should be doing, with whatever little amount of knowledge I've had at every time I've addressed her about nutrition, and always just trying to help her. I was being very critique of the choices she was making. I was telling her, I kind of believed in the tough love type of thing. I was like, I need to tell her to let her know that she's not making the right choices, as if she didn't know already. So I understand where you guys would come from if you're addressing people you love this way. And when it comes to publicity and when it comes to magazines and everything, I kind of have been more of the view that it's not okay either. As it's not okay to show anorexic people and say that that's the good way to be. I kind of also always believed like it's not good to show people that are also unhealthy, overweight, and tell people that that's okay, because it's just going to promote both. And fat shaming is something that some people, some publicity, some brands have adopted as, maybe if we do this, people will see that they're making choices that is going to shorten the amount of time they're going to be alive. So maybe the shock is going to make them change behaviors and improve. And what I understood, and sadly what research shows, is that it's not the case. To have these negative feelings, to awake these negative feelings and this shame and this guilt and all the things that come with fat shaming, to cause this to these people will only make them go more towards their natural pattern of reaction when they're stressed. So their coping mechanism is food. If you make them feel bad, if you approach them aggressively about their choices, food is going to be the comfort they're going to go towards afterwards. So even if you're trying to do your best and you're trying to help your friend who is being unhealthy or is having health issues or something, coming to them with these type of comments will only end up in them taking more calories that day, in maybe that week, So it's actually not gonna help at all. It's gonna make it worse. So this is already something that I changed in my behavior towards my grandma and towards people that I would like to address, that I am kind of afraid for their health. And the other way we can do it, and I know it's harder and it's not always possible, and you also should be very careful into who you address and make sure you do have the right and they are close enough for you to make these type of comments, because it's a very, very personal thing. But the way you could do it that actually proves that it's proven to work more, it's with positive affirmation. So it's exactly the same as with kids. And we all work like that in a way, but it's the type of comments that when you see them making an effort, no matter how tiny it is, just reacting really big to that effort, telling them you're so proud of them, telling them thank you for making that effort. For my grandma, thank you for changing, for example, instead of eating that sugar, you're replacing it by this. those little efforts, just amplifying them so much, can really make them feel better and can really motivate them to keep on doing it. According to what I know until now and to what I've just learned, that's the only thing we can really do. Unless it's like your kid and you have power over their food, and that's completely different. But yeah, I just thought it was worth sharing because it did hit me home, because I realized I was doing the wrong thing for the people I love. And yes, so the only way we can kind of help for now from our perspective, without us controlling all the publicity campaigns that McDonald's throws out there and all the stuff that are also having an effect on them. It's simply by just amplifying every little success they have, making them feel so much better, making them know that you see that they're making efforts, that you're proud of it, that their body is going to be happy for them, and it's going to show them that they're making the good efforts, that they're going to feel better. And focusing just on all the little wins they have, instead of trying to create any sort of negative feeling on them, because it's not going to be I had a shock, tough love, I'm going to just start dieting because someone made me feel bad. That's just not how the brain works, and it's proven. That's it for this IGTV. I hope it will serve you in some way. I hope that maybe it will push you to do a bit of more research in this subject, and to inform yourself better if you're dealing with people around you, or if you are in a situation where you would like to take care of your health differently. And yes, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you on the next time. Mwah.